Today's episode is brought to you by Loombox. Are you on a health kick like me? Red light therapy has so many benefits, including anti-aging, scar healing, mood lifting, and more. I use my Loombox twice a day for wrinkles on my face and to help me with my giant C-section scar healing. I truly feel like this little machine helped me through my seasonal depression this year, too. Use the code Wheeler, that's WHEELER, for 40% off the full price of your self-care investment of red light therapy. Go to theloombox.com for more information. That's theloom, LUMEBOX.com, and use the code Wheeler at checkout. This episode is brought to you by Rise Mushroom Coffee. Whether you're wanting to make the coffee swap like me or add mushrooms to your morning routine, Rise is by far my favorite mushroom coffee. Drinking just 1 cup a day helps your digestive system. It keeps you focused all day long. It even helps build your immune system, and the list goes on and on. There is so much to mushrooms. Use the code Wheeler, that's WHEELER, at checkout for 15% off discount on your first purchase at risesuperfoods.com. That's RYZE superfoods.com. Hey everybody, I'm Janell Wheeler and you're listening to More Content Podcast. This episode was pretty special. It's my first episode I ever recorded of a podcast I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I had the legendary Vincent D'Onofrio. We talked about many different things. He is so easygoing, so enjoyable to talk to, and he might even be moving to Nashville. We talked about Men in Black, we talked about Daredevil, and even being a family man with his kids and some life advice. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Hi, everybody. My name is Janell Wheeler. I am very excited to be here with you guys for a very big episode with the one and only Vincent D'Onofrio. Welcome. Hi. Welcome to More Content.
Hi. Yeah. It's good to see you. I'm glad we could do this. I promised you this a long time ago. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah, you really did. And I have to tell you a story about that.
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you. I always wanted to do this solo podcast. I had it in my mind. It was like this twinkle in my eye. Oh, I want to do my own podcast. I want to talk to people about things like maybe obviously your current projects, but like the heart and like the soul and the deeper things.
Yeah, sure.
And I could tell like you were one of those people that shares that willingly. And I was like, oh man, he would be such a great guest on this hypothetical podcast that I wanted to do. And then COVID hit and I got married and had a baby. And I was like, yeah, that will never happen. And then I get a message from Vincent D'Onofrio who says, hey, now's the time. We're making this. We're going to do this. I'm ready to be on the show. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to start my podcast. So you were my very first guest.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Podcast. Cool. That's cool.
Because when opportunity comes knocking, I'm sure you know this as an actor, you take it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Forever, for the rest of my existence, I will always say, oh my gosh, Vincent D'Onofrio is the reason why this podcast exists. So thank you.
Good. Oh, you're welcome.
We met on Comic Book Nation.
Right.
Talking about your time on, I think it was Echo. And so I was like, I would love to just get him on and talk to him about his life and things like that. And so obviously, thank you for taking the time to chat during a very hectic time, I'm sure, for you. Are you doing a ton of press right now?
So that's sort of ended. It's like sporadic now. Like we did a whole lot of it, which was kind of crazy, but it was good. You know, they went all out with the press, international press and everything. So we did all. Now it's just like I just finished a Ryan Murphy series. I did a couple episodes for him on this new series that he's coming out called Beauty. But it went over, so I ended up having to start Daredevil at the same time I was doing the Ryan Murphy thing. So it's been kind of crazy. But now that's done, and now I'm just I've been just studying every day. And for Daredevil, I started shooting last week. I did 2 days last week. I will work Friday, and then I'll be in for good.
You're kind of like always working. Even when you're not working, you're like, I'm working. You're an author.
Yeah, I've also got, 2 boys living with me now, and
yeah,
I'm a single fathering 2 boys, and
is that fun or is that stressful?
Well, they're 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be 17. So it's like, I'm 25 and 17, going to be It's not stressful. It's just, boys are boys. Boys are different. I have a daughter,
Uh-huh.
Layla George, who's doing very well now in her acting. But girls are easier. You know,
Are
that they're.
they?
I think they are.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there are a few years where it gets a little rough, but
Yeah.
yeah, but that was pretty easy. It was rough, but we got through it. We got through it, and now my daughter and we're just like we have an amazing relationship. But my sons are awesome. One of them's away in boarding school, and the other one is he wanted to go to boarding school, so I told him to pick some, and he did, and he got into all of them, and he picked one, and he's out there now going to boarding school, and the 25-year-old's going to acting school as well. So we'll see what happens with
Oh
that.
my
But
gosh. So it's staying in the
so
family.
busy is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you miss them when they were kiddos? Like, is it just such a fun journey to like have them as adults now, like in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Yeah.
You guys like do any like rituals, like family dinner on a certain night, or you go out to dinner or
Well, we always do. It's a constant with
yeah.
us. We're always doing something. We're either traveling together or we're just home, ordering DoorDash and watching
Oh, I love that.
stuff that they like or stuff that I like. And the last thing that my son, the 25-year-old, turned me on to was Arcane. So we were watching that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that's good taste. That
Yeah.
is good taste.
Yeah. They're good. They have good taste. They keep me up on all of the hip stuff.
Yeah, I don't have anyone. I'm trying to keep up. Vincent, I'm about to be 40, so I'm trying to keep up
That's
too.
amazing. Gosh, you look like you're in your 20s. Crazy.
This webcam washes me out. You can't see any wrinkles, and since I'm
Nice.
in Nashville, we're not like as on top of all of the Botox and lip fillers and stuff. So like I
Nice.
feel like that ages some people. Like I feel like they look older when they start doing all that stuff.
Sure.
So, but thank you. I will. That means a lot to me. I feel like I'm a child. But
I'm
um,
thinking of moving down there.
oh my. Oh well, you will have a dining buddy if you do, because I love having like my finger on the pulse of new restaurants and coffee
Yeah.
shops, all that kind of
Thinking
stuff.
of
I love it. So
going
you
down
better
there.
tell me.
Yeah, when I have time, I'm going to go down there and look at houses. A friend of
Let
mine
me
is
know.
building a house on a lake out there outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I don't know, I'm thinking about it. We'll
If
see.
you ever need any,
Yeah, that's what I was
advice
thinking just now.
for
Yeah.
areas, we're looking too to get out of like the downtown area. So
Okay.
let me know. It's awesome here. Gosh, you would fit in with all of the writers. Like you are one of us. Like,
Cool.
it's
Cool. I like
amazing.
that.
Speaking of like, I have to bring this up. I wasn't
Yeah.
even going to talk about this, but this kind of stuck with me. You tweeted this amazing tweet about kids, and it just hit so hard for me. It said, "You think you know a lot. Show what you know to your children, no matter how old they are. Don't tell them what to do. Show them what you know." And obviously, like you expanded upon that, but
Yeah.
I love the way that you tweet. I love your process. It feels like you're writing a book, like another book of poetry or something. Like, did you take any of your tweets or excerpts when you created your book?
I think that a lot of them started
Yeah,
as tweets. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Do
Yeah.
we call them, what do we call them? Do we call them tweets? Do we call them
No,
X's? I don't
I
even
don't
know.
know. I don't know anymore either. But I put this children's book out called Pigs
Yes.
Can't Look Up, which also started as a tweet, which
Did
is
that come out in November? I think that came out in November.
no, it was it's a year ago now.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah. It did really good. Yeah. I was
it's
very proud of that
beautiful.
book. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. So let me get this out of the way because I feel like a lot of my peeps are my nerds. So before I go too much into my own personal agenda, I would love to ask you about how did Daredevil Born Again, like, what was that call? Did Kevin Feige just like call
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
So it was
Basically.
personal like that.
Oh yeah. Like
It
the
wasn't.
first call was no, it wasn't through agents or anything like that.
Ah,
No.
I love that.
The first call was for Hawkeye. The first call
Yes.
was hey, we want to bring you into the MCU. Charlie got the call. I got the call. We both got them separately, but within a day of each other.
So you didn't spoil for each other.
Exactly. Although it was only luck that we couldn't get each other on the phone because we always tell each other everything that
Oh
goes
my
on. So
gosh.
yeah, but we just it was perfect because I ended up getting the call before he was able to tell me he got the call, so it was like worked out perfect. But no, so it was like a welcome, welcoming you to the MCU. If you're into it, we're into it. We want to put you in Hawkeye. So Hawkeye was like the first thing, and
Yeah.
then during Hawkeye, um, I quickly realized by the end of it that I would probably get a call. I think it was and Brad Winterbaum and somebody else, probably Sydney, who started contacting me and saying that Maya, that Alekwa was going to, sorry, I called her every name but her own, but that Alekwa was going to get a series of her own called Echo and as Maya. So then I went and I did that, and then the whole Born Again thing. We there was no word about whether we were going to go into a new Daredevil series. They hadn't told us that yet.
Oh man.
But I think after Echo came out, I think we were gosh, I can't remember. I think it was actually might have been during Echo that I got the call for that they're in for Born Again. So
Oh man.
yeah, it's great. You get these calls from those guys, and it's like, they're such hip dudes. They're really good guys to work for. They're very creative, and they get it. They're bigger nerds than even us who play
Yeah.
the superheroes.
Oh my god.
It's great. It's just I know a lot of people probably say this. I don't know, but it's a great company. That's a great company to work for.
Yeah.
They're very creative. They're very open, and I'm talking about Marvel. So
Marvel.
it's yeah. So yeah, that's how. I mean, it's it would probably would feel the same exact way if you got a call. It'd
Yeah.
be the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's no difference. It's that fun.
I think of like my time on, I don't know if you know, I was on American Idol
Yeah, I
and a
remember you
lot of
told me. Yeah.
my, yeah, a lot of my friends or like people who were on the show with me, they did just get a call to be on. They're like, "Hey, my agent got, a call and they said that I would end up in the top 24." And I went, "Are you kidding me? I waited in line for 10 hours. I had to compete with 10,000 people in a stadium and you
Oh
just got
my
a
gosh.
call from an agent and you just like flew to Hollywood." Like that's so unfair, but it is what it is. I mean, that's Hollywood, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
really more than anything.
Yeah.
So my question here with kind of the tone. So I've been watching, obviously, and I did have a friend who's tied in with the industry, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to watch the whole season, let me know." And I just couldn't do it. I was telling my community, I can't do it. I just want to experience it the way that it's
Well, that's
supposed to be
good.
experienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say, Fisk is scaring me so much in these first 3 episodes because, like, as a super fan of Marvel and especially this villain, I know what he's capable of and he's not doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's building so much tension,
Yeah.
and the way that you do that is just
Yeah. It's not going to be good.
it's not going to be good. Oh, I love that.
It's not gonna turn out
I'm
good
like,
for
I
everybody
oh,
concerned.
it is like it's kind of concerning to me for the people who may be tuning in that don't know the history of
Yeah.
this guy
Well,
because
they'll learn.
it feels it's just you're playing the perfect politician because you are just giving the people what they need to hear.
Mm.
Like, I'm just trying to make this city better. I'm a good guy. I'm
Yeah,
just
I mean it's really interesting to do it. I mean, I've always thought that this character plays really well if you put him in circumstances that he doesn't belong,
yeah.
because he's such a weirdo and such a monster,
Yes.
and he's so dangerous and such a freak that it's like you put him in a marriage, it's going to be strange. You put him running for mayor, it's going to be strange. And yeah, I mean, as the season unfolds, it gets heavier and heavier.
I was gonna say, do you know which episode we really get our like bad guy? coming out?
It's not. I mean, I think you get a hint very soon. I can't. I don't want to ruin anything. So it's like it's something coming. That's the first true kind of solid hint that okay, things are. He's not going to be able to do this.
Oh
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
we're gonna finally get that. Oh gosh, we're
Yeah.
gonna finally get that exchange with
Yeah. But
Daredevil.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll
feel
see if
like
it
they're
makes
gonna wait.
sense.
I don't know. It's just me anticipating and excitement. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
they're gonna wait until like the very end to get that like, oh, that action going
Oh my
between the
God, Janelle, you have no idea what happens. It's
oh
like
my
insane. Like it's
god.
insane.
So wait, so maybe I should call my friend and I'm just kidding. And maybe I should cheat.
No, it's cool because I saw them too. I saw the episodes too, but I usually don't watch
I
what
was
what
gonna
I've done,
ask.
but because we were so involved in the making of it of this first season and we're very involved in the making of the second one too.
Mhm.
Um, my so I watched the 10 that they delivered to me, but they were not finished. And I knew that changes were going to be made and stuff. And then at the premiere, my son Elias, my 25-year-old, went with me, and he wanted me to watch them with him because I usually, after the lights go down, I usually like duck out and then wait for the lights to start coming back up, and then I get back to my seat again.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
what I
wait. Wait,
that's what I
we have
do in
to dive into
premieres.
that. Why?
What?
We have to dive into why you do that.
Um, I find it really boring to watch myself. It reminds me of work, you know. And it's sometimes I'm saved by the other performances, like I'll be interested in what Charlie does or whoever else is acting in the
Mhm.
thing or whoever is the lead in the show or whatever, because I'm usually playing, supporting parts, character parts. So it's like, which is my favorite thing to do, but it's still, it's like it just reminds me of work, and I really enjoy doing it a lot, making it a lot, but I don't, it's a different thing to watch it. It doesn't make, I don't think it's being delivered to me the same way it's being delivered to an audience. I'm so close to it. I'm so involved in it
Mhm.
that it's just a job done, and hopefully a job well done, and then move on. So
Is it hard to like escape into it when you kind of know all of the inner workings and all of the scene breaks and all of the mess ups and all
yeah.
of the lighting and like the view of you looking at the camera, like when you watch it, are you just like envisioning the camera in front of your face? Like I could see.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Yeah.
who's shooting it. Like I know
Yeah.
whose eye is on the lens.
Yeah.
I know where the lights are. I know where all the
So it's not a hypercritical thing though, because I can't listen to myself
no.
sing because I'm so hypercritical of myself. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
No, I think that my sister, I might have told you this before, that my sister did some, she was, about 10 years ago or something, no longer maybe, she used to do a cooking show on one of the local channels in Utah.
No,
And
I didn't.
she really didn't like the way her voice sounded or the way she looked. And I took her to the side one day and I told her that, because one of the things that I was told when I was very young is said that one of my mentors told me that a lot of the flaws that we see in ourselves, that
Mhm.
we feel that we have, whether it's in our looks or the way we speak or whatever it is, our intelligence, everything that we question about ourselves,
Mhm.
those flaws are 99% of the time what people find interesting about us. And
Wow.
you should just be yourself, because that's what's going to stand out the most.
Yeah.
With all of your weaknesses, all of your flaws, just let it out, just be you. And it's true that it makes you an individual, and that's always interesting to
Yeah,
see.
especially as a creative. I didn't even think about that. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's actually a
yeah,
great way to put it because I do feel like it's just a time of I feel like there's always this fine line. Am I being hypercritical or am I being full of myself? Like I feel like I never know
yeah.
where I'm supposed to exist.
And by the way, it's okay to be critical of yourself, and it's
Yeah.
also okay to be full of yourself every once in a while. It's all ego. Ego is good. Ego, I
Yeah.
know, has a bad name for itself, but there's also ego is good too. Especially for creatives. We have to take chances. We have to to understand that we can fail. We have to fail and learn from it. You know, I really believe, and I wish I knew this when I was very young, when I was first starting out, that anything you can do to be you, to put yourself in the circumstance of whatever you're doing or the environment of what you're doing, just be you. You're gonna stand out because it's you and you're an individual and nobody's ever met you before. It's what I tell young actors when they do auditions.
Yeah.
Don't try to be this actor or that actor wrapped into one. Don't try to be something that you're not. Put yourself in the circumstance, your true self in the circumstance of the character that you're playing, and play it like that. And eventually, as you get better doing that, then you can start like hanging character choices on top of that and become somebody completely different, like I do a lot. But in every one of my parts, it's the core is me, and I also still play parts that are just me, basically,
Yeah.
except for the
Gosh,
writing.
this is like really hitting close to home with my music journey because I kind of try to fit into what people told me to do, which was country.
Yeah,
And I never listened to country in my life. It wasn't my thing. And then I tried for years to fit into this spot and it never hit. Like I never succeeded. And I wonder why.
yeah, you got to be you.
I was not being authentic to myself at all. And speaking of that, I'm going to throw another. I heard that you and Charlie are the reason why we got this like darker vibe with this show.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you really pushed for it.
oh yeah, for sure. We pushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we knew something wasn't right and we needed to fix it. And we wanted to fix it with everybody that we had, but it just wasn't working out that
so
way.
this
So,
was like the original like walk me through this. So you guys originally already started like filming and everything and then you went,
mhm.
"Hold on, we need to regroup."
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Wow. What is that scary? Going to like the powers that be?
Wasn't scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, but I like I said before, these guys are really awesome people and
Yeah.
they listen, they'll hear you out. And it's a tough thing to talk about because I don't want to get into an area, and I don't think we have yet, Charlie and I, where we're telling tales out of school kind of a thing. We don't
Mm,
want to
not yet.
we don't want it to reflect badly on the people, on the writers before the
Oh,
change,
that's really lovely of you, actually.
because it was, their concept, their idea was a really good idea.
Yeah.
And it was, but it wasn't what the audience, we knew that it wasn't what the audience wanted, you know?
Not when you have to piggyback off of the original
Yeah.
series, like
And
the
it's really not it's really not us. It's really not Charlie and I. We're just actors saying, "Hey, this doesn't work for us." But in the end, it was the bosses that made the decision, not us. And we were lucky that the strike happened. Unfortunate that the strike happened, but for us,
right.
we had this little bit of luck coming from that strike that let them be able to have a better look and then decide to start all over again. So we
Oh,
did, and yeah, and it was such a good shoot after that. It was fantastic. And when we started the second season this year, just a couple of weeks ago, it was so nice. Everybody, literally, I think only like two people, because they got caught on other jobs, didn't come back. As far as the crew, every crew member, everybody involved,
wow.
everybody
Oh,
came
that's
back.
rare.
Yeah, all of our camera department, everybody, our props, everybody that yeah, it's just so wonderful to go on set because we know that, it's going to
You have
be
a fan.
one of those things where we know everybody so well.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's really cool. Was there any like, I don't know, like bonding sessions, like anything that you guys all got together? Like everybody ate at the same time. We do probably not because it's just so much madness going on, huh?
So much madness going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just too much.
Remember Charlie's got his half of the show and I have mine. So sometimes
Yeah.
we're
You're not
working
even
on the,
going to see each other. Yeah.
yeah, we don't see each other. We're working on the same days and he's in another building and I'm in the other building. But the good thing about that is I know that when they're shooting, I know Charlie is there, and I completely trust Charlie and the camera crew and
Mhm.
these directors, Aaron and Justin, that we're working with now. And
Yeah.
I know that the show is being well taken care of over there, and I have to do my stuff over here.
I love how much ownership you take of this. I feel like a lot of times like lead actors don't do that. Like they're just kind of there to play their role and then like they just do that and then leave. Like I feel like this is kind of your baby. Like you're kind of like this is my show. I'm really passionate about where it's going and how it's doing
Yeah, I think
from
Charlie
every
and I
perspective.
both. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Charlie and I both. We get along really well. Charlie and I would become
Mhm.
close, and because we travel together and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
he feels the same way. It's like we just want the show to be good. We want the fans to like it. That's been a huge part of it.
Mhm.
Is that you know it was really the only. There was a few technical things that we thought needed to be changed, but in the end, it was really like the audience, the fans want this. This is what they want. You can give it to them or not, but we know what they want. This
Yeah.
is what they want.
I
And then
love that
the
you do that.
and then Kevin and Despacito and Brad and our producer Sana and our writer Dario, it's like they all rose to the occasion. Everybody just that put their um, all their energy into making this show what we really wanted it to be, what we thought
So
the fans
great.
would like. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of fans, I have to do this.
Yes. What happened?
Nerd fans are really tough to please.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I was kind of on the outskirts. I was on the fringe. I covered The Walking Dead. That's how I got tied in with comicbook.com. And they're nerds. But then you get into the Marvel, the DC, like the Star Wars, the like comic book nerds, and they are savage. Like
Mm.
they're
I love it
so
though.
hard. Well, I was gonna ask you this because I have this tweet up that we actually have the graphic for it. This is a
Yeah.
tweet. Culture Crave tweeted this, and this makes me I spit my water out when I read this. I laughed so hard. You, if you guys can't read this or if you're just listening, Culture Crave tweets Vincent D'Onofrio responds to a fan and says Daredevil Born Again ruined Kingpin, and you in reply said thanks for the support, dumbass.
Yeah.
But it was the username of the
His name
person
was
that was
Dumbass. Yeah.
trolling you. And
Yeah.
so you go on to say, we do understand that the dumbass was his account's X name, right? Like
Yeah.
I just think it's so freaking funny that
Well,
you,
I think I hope he got the joke. It's
I'm
like,
sure, yeah,
if he's got the nerve to say that to me, to
yeah,
tweet on my account that he thinks I ruined the show or we did something wrong in some way, then if he's gonna go that far, then I'm gonna be funny,
yeah.
back because I'm not
Don't
gonna
dish it
take
if
it
you can't dish it.
seriously, you know.
Well, that was my other question. Okay, comment sections, replies. Do you read them or do
Yeah.
you try to ignore?
When I'm not like if I'm sitting and I'm studying, like I'll do these 2 hour study sessions every day to get ahead of the dialogue, you know.
Uh-huh.
And you do an hour and then you take a little break because you don't want to cloud up your brain. So you let your brain rest a little bit and then you go back into it. So like if I'm there and I'm just kind of like sitting around and having a coffee and I'll open my phone and I'll like things that people say, and every once in a while people will ask me to say happy birthday to them, so I do that. And
Oh,
it's like I have some fans that have been on there for a long time, but then all these new fans that are joining me now because of the Born Again thing. It's yeah, I mean, I will, unless they say stuff that I don't, I really can't answer. Like some people will say, hey, I'll cut all my hair off if you tweet me, or
oh
or
my gosh.
or something ridiculous like they'll shave bald if you tweet. I'm not going to say go ahead shave bald,
Yeah.
shave yourself bald, but I'll tweet them and say, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah. Oh, I love that's cheeky. I like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's good.
stuff like that.
I feel like you either have, and I mean, I don't know if everybody has a different opinion on this, but like calling someone a celebrity, to me, you were like a superstar, rock star. And it's always interesting to see like who actually engages in the comments or takes the time to even read them, and then
Yeah,
who has to like protect their peace, quote unquote, which is kind of what I like. I get some weird DMs from time to time, and I'm not even a celebrity. So, so I
yeah,
don't
no,
engage. I do not read like,
yeah.
so I respect that you actually do respond.
I remember the early years when I was my early years on Twitter, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I felt like it was important to be conversational, but then you realize quickly that that's not always going to be great for you because you are a public figure and
Oh
of
yeah.
some kind anyway.
Yeah.
And you just have to be careful what you say out there. So I stopped having full on conversations, but I do want people to know that I it's like they want me to know. I want them to know that I appreciate. Gregory Hines taught me. Gregory Hines. I don't know if you might be too young, Janelle, to know who that was, but he was one of the best tap dancers in the world, and he and he was like a brother to me for a long while.
Oh.
We did a movie together when we were younger called Greg passed away, but we did a movie called Good Luck together, which is a crazy movie about two disabled people entering a river race. It was Greg and I. Anyway, Greg taught me a great lesson. Greg Hines was one of the best tap dancers in the world, like I said, and he had done he was in White Nights. He had done all these great movies and all this great theater and all these great shows. He was a singer, dancer. He was a triple threat. And he was just an amazing guy. He had done everything from like Broadway to Sesame Street.
Wow.
Everything. When you'd walk down the street with him, it was endless, the people that would stop or honk their horn. I mean, he couldn't go 5 feet down the street. And this is anywhere in our country and probably in the world. I never traveled with him in Europe, but we did a cross country travel one time, him and I, just like hanging out together in a car. And
awesome.
yeah. And I said to him one day, it's like, how do you handle all the people invading your space all the time? And he said, like, he goes, you started in the theater like I did, like now we do television and movies and people don't get a chance to clap. At the end of a show, you come out, the audience claps and you bow graciously to them. You accept their applause. And so when people come up to you on the street, that's really all they're doing is they haven't been able to see you in the theater. They can't clap. So they just come up to you and they're sort of clapping. That's the way they have of, returning the favor of you performing. And that he thought that because we bow to them on stage, we should also figuratively, we should also kind of like bow to them by allowing them to
take a selfie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so true, though.
Yeah.
Oh
So so I've always thought of things like that. But
that's beautiful, man. You have
so I kind of think of Twitter the same way. Like I want to make people, I want them to be sure that I do care. And I also, it's a good example for my kids too, because I don't want them to think that what I do or what they may do in the future, if they follow my footsteps, should be put on a pedestal. That sort of happens because of the way the business is, so it automatically happens that we get put on these pedestals. But if you start to actually act like you are on a pedestal, that's a different story.
Yeah.
And so the only way to keep grounded is to be grounded.
Yeah.
Is to keep your feet on the ground, keep looking people in the eye, and keep talking to them like, they're your next door neighbor.
Yeah, like a little nobody on Twitter who wants you on her podcast.
Yes.
Seriously, I'll never get over it. I'm so grateful. And something else I won't ever get over.
Mm-hmm.
Before I ever met you, there was this little movie called The Cell.
Yeah.
It is probably, and I think this is so underrated. Like this frightens me more than I can even explain. And I'm not just like blowing smoke. This villain, this dude gave me nightmares. Like I have to prepare myself when I watch. Like this character is unreal. If you guys have not seen The Cell, you should. First of all, it's one of the most beautiful films. Like the imagery is just gorgeous. The costumes, like the things you got to wear, the makeup. What was that like? I have to ask you. I'm selfishly having to ask you about The Cell because I just love this movie so much. Like this is one of my favorites. Like I hate it. It's so scary, but I love it.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
The costume is unreal.
Yeah. It was quite a show. Like it was hard because it was dark material, but
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
that's I have
Tarsem
another question
Danwar,
for you
you
on
know,
that.
yeah, he's you know, Tarsem who directed it, Tarsem Danwar, he's amazing, you know, and actually they're putting out I think they did already just recently put out a new Blu-ray of three different versions of it. One of them is his director's cut.
Oh my
Yeah, which
gosh.
is only 5 minutes longer or something like that. I remember from back in the day, but it's the better of the cuts, I would
They
think.
love shaving your head. They just in every it's Full Metal Jacket, we got this
Yeah,
one, we
yeah.
got, you know,
I don't
Fist,
mind
like,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it. It
I
gets my
mean, we
head gets a little cold living in New
definitely
York,
pull
but
it off.
yeah,
But yeah, this was I will say like this is one of my scariest things like for me personally. I struggle with this a lot in the best of ways and I love it so much. And I wanted to ask, did playing a serial killer mess with your psyche? Like I mean,
yeah, it's not good.
it's not yeah, like and
Yeah,
for
I still
how
have nightmares
do you
sometimes. Yeah, I
really?
mean, occasionally I'll have a
Yeah,
nightmare, but not about me playing the character, but about some of the research that I did to play it, like that I had to learn, which I'm not going to get into because it's just too
right.
gross. But you know, so yeah, you know, I remember I used to stay at the Chateau Marmont when I was working in LA. They actually
Mhm.
used to make films in LA, which was crazy. But when you think about it now, but back in the day they did. So I would, when I was younger, I would line up 3 or 4 films and then go to LA, stay somewhere, and then let the companies take over my rent. You know, each company that I worked for,
Yeah, love that.
and yeah, and so I was staying at the Marmont for that, and I remember my room was full of it was just full of photography and recordings and all these very kind of creepy,
Yeah.
kind of sort of dark stuff, you know.
So
And so you get consumed with that, and you become that kind of like you get that feeling,
yeah.
yeah.
And you strike
And
me as an empath. So I feel like maybe because I think I've like heard in interviews that like you're not even into guns or violence, like that's just not your thing. And then you're playing Wilson Fisk and you're playing this serial killer on the cell. And I just can't even imagine.
yeah,
Like it's so
yeah.
different from who you are.
It's just because that's the way I was brought up. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, some of my best friends are hunters and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I got nothing against guns and
Hmm.
stuff, but I think that I mean, if you know how to use them and you're careful with them. But the yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you know, I remember I would only go so far the with the research because I knew that eventually it was going to, you know, give me nightmares. So, but
Yeah.
you know, I think I went far enough anyway because I still get nightmares every once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
Just on some of the research, I had a couple of people that were technical advisors for me that had worked with serial killers before
My gosh.
and stuff like that. So a lot of the information I was gaining was all very negative stuff, you know, like not good for your mental health, you know. So it's um, those times are those times can be really weird when you're doing films like that
How do you get
because
through
you're
that?
not doing anything wrong, but
Right.
your body and brain doesn't know that you're acting, so it
Oh my
affects your nervous system and it can depress you. Like
yeah.
it doesn't make you want to go out and do bad things. It just affects who you are as a person. It
Yeah.
makes you who you are feel sad, you know, and but you know, it's not digging ditches, you know.
Meditation, run like,
Sure,
working out, how what got you
sure,
through it?
all that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
sunshine,
meditation for
putting
sure.
your bare feet on the grass, like,
Hmm.
just
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
juggling
right.
babies and puppies, like
Puppies are always good. Puppies
yeah,
are good for everything. Yeah,
yeah. Oh my goodness, I just can't even yeah, that's rough.
yeah.
That does seem really, really rough, and I will say personally, like, ghosts don't freak me out, it's serial killers. It's stuff that, like,
Oh
we
yeah, it's stuff
know
that's not in your control.
yeah, and, like, it exists. These people are out there. Like this
Yeah, it's not
happens.
nice. It's
Yeah.
not
Oh
nice.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, okay. Speaking of something else that may or may not exist, this is just a fun one. You're in Men in Black.
Mhm.
Do you believe in aliens?
I want to.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you
I've
think
never
they're
seen
here?
one. I've never seen any kind of vehicle or anything or an actual alien, but I want to believe in it. I hope that, there's what I find silly is that it's become this industry to not see them, to not have actually any proof. It's become
Yeah.
this huge industry because there's no proof,
Yeah.
so to speak, sort of. So you can do anything with an industry like that if you don't have to prove anything's true.
Right.
So it's become this huge giant thing. So when you think about it, like when I think about it in real terms, not just in like, oh, that's fun to look at on Instagram, like something that looks like it could be a flying saucer. But what I enjoy most is that it's the whole kind of mentality that everybody has when they're talking about it these days is that as if it really does exist,
Yeah.
but they won't make another step further than that.
Right.
And I find that to be just the most entertaining of the whole thing is the fact that they keep saying, "Oh, it's coming," and then it doesn't
But
come.
it
I
doesn't
love
come.
that. I love that.
Oh my gosh.
It's so great because it's like if like I used to do magic when I was a kid, and the whole
Oh.
the whole thing is to get the audience revved up and revved up and revved up, and then you'll do some trick, and it's really obviously not magic,
And
but they
hopefully they're not
but they love
wearing
it.
us as
Yeah,
suits.
yeah,
Like, hopefully there's no one out there with like cockroaches. Like, did you have to have real bugs on you during that, by the way? Like,
yeah,
were there, oh my
yeah.
gosh. My
Hissing
husband was like,
hissing cockroaches.
you have to ask him if he had like
Yeah,
real cockroaches on him. Oh my
yeah, hissing cockroaches. They're about that big, and they hiss. They make sounds. Yeah,
Did
and
any of them like go in weird places?
well, none of them got crazy, no,
Okay.
but they did have to load them into my sleeves and stuff, and they're big and they're kind of slow moving, and so
Ugh.
they're not like regular cockroaches. But so they had to come out of my arms and crawl up my arms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I did not like that. I did not like it. I did not.
I had to ask.
Yeah,
That was so fun. Okay.
but they were
Uh,
real.
I guess like switching gears because I don't have a ton of time left with you, but I wanted to know because this is becoming quite a real issue. What are your thoughts on AI? I feel like a lot of actors,
I think as long as it's used as a tool, it's
yeah,
okay.
okay.
I've been experimenting with it, and I think that I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of young people, and people, anybody in school. A lot of schools and unis, they're using AI now to
Yeah.
to to study with and stuff, and to bring up
Oh,
text. You
that's
know,
nice. I wish
and it's
I envy them.
right. I mean, you can really just speak into your phone and say, "Hey, what about this?" And you can get 5 pages on it. You know,
Crazy.
yeah. And so I'm not in that position. Like I don't have to do that. There's nothing in my job that makes me have to do that. I guess I could research in that way, but I really enjoy doing hands-on stuff,
Yeah.
research. So, and talking to people on the phone and,
Mhm.
so, or on Zoom. So, but when it comes to painting and creating pieces of art, I think it's incredible. I think that as long as they're using it as a tool,
Mhm.
because you can still light it, you can write it, you can light it, you can shoot it, you can do everything, and you can use the AI as a sort of like you can give the AI the paint, and it will be the brush,
I
you
saw
know.
a video of you. When my community found out that I was interviewing you, They sent me this video of you. It's like an AI version of you, like dancing around, singing to like Bhangra. Like
That's not AI.
at first I didn't think it was. At
It's
first I was
not.
like, dang.
That's
Like
not AI. That was for Vinod Chopra's birthday.
oh
I don't know
really?
how that. Yeah, Vinod Chopra is an Indian director, very famous Indian
Yeah.
director, who I did a film called
It
Broken
wasn't
Horses with.
AI?
No, it was his sister went around to the cast, and the brave casts, the brave ones of the cast
Yeah.
would do lip sync these one his favorite songs. So that was mine that I did for him. How it got released, I don't know, but I love it. It's
Oh
awesome.
my
That's
goodness.
why I'm in that cowboy outfit because I'm playing it.
Yes.
I'm actually in costume, in a
Wait a
costume that I
minute.
wear in the movie.
You have moves.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
It's silly stuff, but I
Oh
appreciate
my
that.
goodness. Dang it.
But
I'm kicking myself for not having this media to pull up for everyone.
but if it was really fun to do though, because he loved it. He was a very nice guy. His family was, I spent evenings with them having dinner. They were awesome people, and yeah, it was just something his sister put together. So a few of us made those videos, and I saw it. Actually, I just saw it like a few days ago on Instagram for the first
Oh
time,
my
and I was like,
God.
okay, so now this is out. All right, great.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say other than it was a birthday gift.
That is so fun. I love it. Okay. Okay. Do you have any moment in your career, or I guess like anything, a fight or just anything that you walked away from? You were like, nope, this is not authentic to me. I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna do this.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but I can't tell you.
You can't tell me. Dang
No,
it.
you can't, because it would
Throw
breed.
people under the bus.
Yeah, it's not cool to do. But I can tell you the circumstance.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times in my career. More I would say like a handful of times, not a lot. Where, as I got to know the people involved in the project, whatever it would be, a play or a movie or something, you start to see red flags. You haven't signed a contract. You haven't really committed yourself yet. You haven't said, "Hey, I'm in 100% yet." But you want to become familiar with the people you're going to be working with and the
Yes.
script. So you're asking questions. You're talking to the producers. You're talking to the director. You're trying to become part of their team.
Right.
And sometimes you're just about to lay your head on the pillow, and you do, and you lay there and you think, do I really want to do this movie? Do I really want to do this play? Like, do I really want to spend this amount of time with those people? And is it going to make me happy? Is it going to make anybody happy? And if I go, if I fall asleep that night thinking, those thoughts, usually the next day I'll pull out of something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It's just
really
because, when I was younger, when I'm no different than anybody else. When you're younger in this business, you want to work, you're hungry to work, and
oh
if you
yeah.
don't have like a mom or a dad who's like guiding you, or somebody that's strong in your life that knows better than you do, I didn't have that. I was just sort of on my own being an actor. I had nobody saying, "Hey,
Aw.
you should do this, you shouldn't do that, you should do this." So I just loved to work. So I just would work. And I would end up in situations that I wish I hadn't gotten myself into.
Mhm.
And so I learned fairly quickly that you have to say no to things.
Oh man, you're speaking to me too with the music stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also a theater background, just so you know. I graduated with a
Nice.
theater degree and I absolutely loved it, but I don't think I was good at it. I think music was why I did musical theater, because I liked the music side a
Yeah.
little bit more than the
So
act.
what else do you play? You play guitar? What else do you play?
My voice, that's it.
Nice. That's
I
enough.
I
Yeah.
do not play guitar well, but
Yeah,
we
that's
do
okay.
have
Me
like
neither.
it's so funny that you even brought that up, because we just had Brant in the chat just asked, can we get the story of your guitars behind you?
So I started playing the ukulele because I just like the idea of being able to play everything but a ukulele song on a ukulele. I find that interesting that you can
That's
play
amazing.
mostly anything. So
Yes.
I suck, by the way.
Same.
So yeah, so but I still play it whenever I can by myself. And then I started buying electric ones because they're quieter for hotel rooms. So
Right.
if you don't plug them into an amp, they're quiet. You can still hear all the notes and the chords, but um, it doesn't keep people up in the
That's
hotel.
so true. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, is that a Gresh behind you? It looks like
No,
okay.
no, it's somebody made it. It's a one-off. It's a bass
Wow.
body
Because
of
we
a
kind of look
ukulele.
like twins. I've got the
I
white.
know it's funny. It's great. Yeah, I
That's
love it.
cute.
Yeah. And then actually this one, the one to the far right,
Yeah.
or yeah, yeah,
Yes.
this one over here. That is it's really good actually.
Oh my gosh, are we going to get playing on?
No, you're not.
Dang
But
it.
I'd have to tune it. So this is called a multi-uke, but it's a company called Godin. It's
Yeah.
an incredible. It's the best electric uke I've ever played before.
Okay, we
It's
need to get a
amazing.
screenshot of you right now in your flannel beanie and holding this instrument because you are East Nashville. Okay, like you look like you belong. You are a singer songwriter out of East Nashville, like
No, no.
ready to go. Gonna
Maybe
go play a
maybe
writers round.
maybe soon to be, but not at the moment.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm telling you, you're gonna fit right in. Well,
and so then people, once people learn that you like this stuff, they start sending you
oh yeah.
guitars and stuff.
That's so cool. Yeah, I had 2 guitars sent to me right before I went on Idol. I had never played guitar. Do you want I don't even know if I should talk about myself, but okay, fine.
Why
We're
not?
gonna do it really fast. I was going on Hollywood Week, first live show, and I was like, "You know what? I kind of play guitar, but I don't it's not my thing. I don't get on stage and play. I just write with the guitar
Yeah,
'cause I'm not good at it." And I just decided, you know what? I'm going to take my guitar and I'm going to jump on stage and I'm going to sing on the Kodak Theater stage
pretty
on live
awesome.
television. First time I've ever, this apparently seems to be a thing I do. The first time I do something, I go real big. And so I walk up on stage in front of the judges, cameras are rolling, and I go, bring, and it doesn't come through the speakers. And I'm going, oh my God. And they're like, cut. And they're so mad. And all of these tech guys come up, they're fiddling with my guitar. They can't figure out what's going on. And they're like, what? I don't understand why it's not working. And I'm like, I don't understand why it's not working. I'm sorry. I don't understand. And
Oh
then they all
no.
walk away and they think it's on their end. And I look down and I go, I wonder what this button does.
Oh no.
I had my tuner on.
There you
But
go.
I thought that's how you got it to play loud because I had never plugged in a guitar on stage in my life. I turned this on and it immediately starts playing and I was like, I don't know, what'd you guys do? You really got it. You figured it out. And then I
Oh,
had
that's
to
awesome.
sing. Oh gosh, it was a disaster.
That's really brave of you, though. I mean, that's a brave
Yeah,
thing to do. Yeah,
I tend to throw
get
myself
up
into
there.
the deep end.
That's good, man.
So
That's good.
yeah, and you're part of that. Okay, last 2 questions. What movie should everybody watch? Any movie. Doesn't have to be yours. What is a film that everyone has to watch?
Oh gosh.
I know. It's hard.
Well, I could be really boring and go to like the foreign classics, but I won't do that. I'll do like if you haven't seen Man Bites Dog, you should see that.
Man Bites Dog. Take notes, everybody.
Yeah. Um,
Awesome.
that was a groundbreaking film, way ahead of its time. Um, but these days, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like watch the Oscars or anything, but I know that I'm waiting for the Honora to come on my streaming so I
Streaming.
can watch
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. The
So I hear
Oscars
that's
were
really good.
interesting this year. I didn't watch them either, but good times. If you were on there, I would have watched.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah. Well, you should be in my eyes. Okay.
Would not
Last
hold your breath
question.
on that one.
Before we end, to just kind of like conclude the whole thing, more content of character and consuming content, because face it, that's all we do.
Yeah.
What are you enjoying right now? Music, a meme, a book, an app? a movie, a TV show,
Yeah, right now I have no time for anything but
anything.
studying and acting and taking
You're
care of
like
my family. Yeah,
playing my ukulele.
that's all I have. That's all I have time for. Um,
Looking at Nashville homes.
yeah, well, soon. But I will say that I think everybody has a lot to look forward to when it comes to the rest of the season that's out there, of the first season of Born Again, Daredevil Born Again. But we're shooting the second season now, and it's already pretty amazing. And we've only been shooting for a few weeks. We have like
God.
4 more months to shoot, and there's a lot of crazy stuff. This season is out of its mind. So everything that happens in this first season that you guys are watching out there, everything, the result of everything that happens in the first season starts off in the beginning of the second season. It's just, the end of the second season is a big deal.
Oh, I was going to ask, does it end completely after the second season, or do you think
I
that
don't think
there's
so.
more story to tell?
I mean, I don't know. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the story, but do you know how Charlie and I learned that there was going to be a second season?
No, let's hear it.
We were at D23 with Kevin. We're on stage. I think it was me and John, Bernthal and Charlie.
Oh my God.
I was, and Kevin was in the middle. I was on one end and Charlie was on the other end of the line, and we're all standing in front of thousands of people at D23. And Kevin says, and we're greenlighting the second season. And Charlie and I had never. So we both kind of leaned forward and looked at each other like from the other side. And we're like, what did he just say?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
I'm
don't ask
definitely going to
me.
have to go check that out. So we won't know until D23 next year.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He has to do something else to top that, to let everyone know. That,
yeah.
But if you don't feel like the story's done being told, did that make sense? Sure.
Yeah.
Then I'm just gonna say there's gonna be a season 3. I'm gonna be the first person to say it. I hope all these gossip sites will pick it up.
I hope we keep going. It would be nice. It'd be nice for everybody. We're the crews and the actors we have on the show this year and last year. I mean, everybody's so great. I hope the show keeps on going for a bit.
I'm so excited. Well, I just have to say, I'm obsessed with this current season. I've only watched 3 episodes. I hate it because I love binge watching shows, but I really love weekly drops. That's what TV's supposed to be for me. So I'm very happy that they aren't just like throwing everything up at once.
Yeah.
Were you part of that?
No, but I'm glad they're doing it. It is the way that I prefer to watch too.
I love it because it builds so much excitement every single episode, and then we can all kind of bond over it. We all start talking about it. It gives us something to collectively chat about week to week to week. And that's really nice. But anywho, I'm just looking forward to this season so much, and I am so freaking grateful that you did this for me. And my nervous jitters are out. And if I can do my first podcast with the Vincent D'Onofrio, then I can do the podcast with anyone.
Well, so, I'm glad we could do it. I really am.
So much. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for being here. You are wonderful. And it has just been like so awesome knowing you. And I am just so excited about everything you're doing in the future. Thank you so much for being here, everybody listening.
Bye, Janelle. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much, Vincent.
See you, sweetie.